So Chennedy Carter is absolutely furious. She is absolutely furious about this ranking. She put this on her Instagram, and there's a lot of other Chennedy Carter stuff that happened when I was coaching my team. I'm just back. I need to figure out all the Chennedy Carter stuff. And there will be a video on that like in about an hour. But right now I'm going to talk about the one thing that I do have some understanding on. Is the list ESPN put out. Chennedy Carter said, how I average less minutes and my stats top in the league, but I am at the bottom. This isn't added up. The hate be so obvious. Field goal percentage as well. So she's not wrong. Like, Chennedy Carter's not wrong. Like, that's the thing where it's funny. It's actually my favorite part about all this is, look, Chennedy Carter, obviously cheap shot at Caitlin Clark. And people think praising Chennedy Carter is a knock on Angel Reese. No, Chennedy Carter's just real good. Like, people like good basketball. The vast majority of the new fans, and again, not the people that aren't watching games that are just going at like Angel Reese. People want to watch good basketball, and there is one explosive guard that shoots better than 35% from the field, and her name is Chennedy Carter. Like, if you're looking at like shoot first guards, there is like, you've got Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum. Not even Kelsey Plum necessarily. Jewel Lloyd, Arike, neither of them shoot a good percentage. But before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, we're trying to hit 3,000 or 26,350 subscribers by the end of the day. But if you don't know, this list here has Jewel Lloyd at 14. And the reason for Jewel Lloyd is they literally said it was like, even though she's going through a shooting slump, she still has a true shooting percentage of 49.5. She shoots 36% from the field and 26% from three. She has a true shooting percentage of like 38 or 30, I think it's 38%. She has a true shooting percentage of 38%. I mean that, 38%. But they somehow, I think, quoted a different year's true shooting percentage. Like, it's crazy. But when we're talking about Chennedy Carter is shooting a ridiculous percentage. Like, look, as far as guards are concerned, I think for me, it goes Sabrina 1, Caitlin Clark 2, Jackie Young 3, Chennedy Carter 4. But I think you can argue Chennedy Carter. She's 24 on this list. I think you could argue Chennedy Carter 2. That is how high I rate Chennedy Carter. And for people being like, oh, you're just hyping up Chennedy Carter because you want to say Angel Reese is the best player in this team. Man, Chennedy Carter might be better than Caitlin Clark. Like, I really rate Caitlin Clark so highly. Chennedy Carter might be better. Chennedy Carter averaging 17.2 points per game, especially coming off the bench. Her last game, she beat the Aces basically by herself. She beat the Aces by herself. I'm not joking. She beat the Aces by herself. And you might be saying, oh, but like other people did, she only scored 34 points. Obviously, she's not going to score every point. But every single time it mattered, she just scored. They couldn't guard her. Kelsey Plum couldn't guard her. Jackie Young couldn't guard her. Chelsea Gray obviously couldn't guard her. She can't guard anybody. And then the only person that could kind of contain her was Sydney Colson that day, for some reason. But other than this game right here, this game was a nothing game. I don't know what the hell happened in this game, but she had 21 against Seattle. The previous game against Seattle, she has 36. She has 19 against the Dream and a win. And this was a real low-scoring game. She then has 22 against the Liberty in a game where they're a lot closer than this game. It's the full Liberty team. Like, she's been the best guard in the W. Oh, sorry, she had 33 against Seattle. She's destroying everybody. Her shooting percentages are pretty good. Like, 8 for 10, 8 for 12, 8 for 14, 6 for 9. Like, this is a... And the funniest part is that I know she's shooting a lot of shots. But she's still shooting a good percentage. The only issue is she will not shoot three-pointers. Like, she's made... I don't even know what her three-point percentage is for the season, but it's like 3 of not a lot. She just won't shoot threes. And that's the problem with Chennedy Carter. It's literally the only fault Chennedy Carter has. She won't shoot threes. But at the same time, her true shooting percentage, because she won't shoot threes, is basically whatever her field goal percentage is, which is like 50. So as far as her like true shooting percentage, it's similar to that of a Kelsey Plum. It's similar to that of a Caitlin Clark. So it's not like she's... If you want to look at just field goal percentage, she's not this hyper efficient player, but she's a lot more efficient than Jewel Lloyd. She's a lot more efficient than Arike Ogunbowale as a starter. And not only that, she's just harder to guard. She is just harder to guard. Like, she is the quickest player in this league. And she's not wrong about this. She's absolutely not wrong about this. If you want to put her, I think the lowest you can put her is 13. As far as the guards are concerned, my list will probably go, I think I had her at 7 when I made my list. I had Asia, because mainly, again, I think guards are a lot more important than WNBA players give credit for. I'm going to go Asia 1, especially based on this season. Stewie's better than Sabrina Ionescu, but for basing it on this season and not for some reason basing it on the Olympics. They base some stuff off the Olympics on this list. But it's Asia 1, Sabrina Ionescu 2, Fee Collier 3, Stewie 4, Caitlin Clark 5. At 6, I would probably have AT. 7, I'd probably go with Chennedy Carter. 8, Jackie Young. 9, Copper maybe, and 10, Neko Umake. I think that would be my top 10. But everyone can have their own top 10. But I do think that Chennedy Carter is closer to 2 than she is to 12. Sorry, she's closer to 2 than she is to Jewel Lloyd. Like, in my opinion, there's absolutely no situation where the top 5 players should be guards or should be forwards. There's no way the top 4 player, or like, there's no way the best player on New York is Sabrina Ionescu. She should be listed as the 3rd best player on her team in this list. She's been the best player for New York this season. So let's just say hypothetically Sabrina is 2. I think you have more of an argument that Chennedy Carter is better than Sabrina and should be 2 than you have that Alicia Gray is better than Chennedy Carter, because Alicia Gray is not better than Chennedy Carter. Straight up. Alicia Gray is not better than Chennedy Carter at all. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, Chennedy Carter's on the money. And look, you gotta love a redemption story. Since that cheap shot, where I think Chennedy Carter expected everyone to just throw her under the bus, since that day, like, yeah, she got teed up for BS. If we're going to call out people for getting teed up and being like bad attitude, and Caitlin Clark might be have the worst attitude in the league. She's been teed up multiple times. I don't care if a player gets teed up. She got called for some BS unsportsmanlike foul. And then the next play, she got clotheslined and nothing was called on her. She's getting no benefits from referees. She's getting screwed by ref calls. Heck, her technical foul was because she just got hip checked and refs aren't calling it. She's getting screwed by ref calls. She's getting screwed by everything. And she is still being arguably the best guard in the WNBA. She's been the best guard the last month. They won't give her a player of the week. Heck, when she was the best player on the Sky, they gave Angel Reese player of the week. I just don't get not only what the WNBA have, but what people in general have against Chennedy Carter. Because again, they're punishing her for past crimes. She hasn't put a foot wrong since June the 1st. It is now the 14th of August. She has not put a foot wrong. The only problem is that she seems to be going nuts on Twitter, going like sometimes anti-Chicago Sky stuff. And I'm just saying that Chennedy Carter, as Sue Bird has said, if she has her shit together, she's one of the best guards in the league. If she doesn't, she can be a complete head case. And if you are a fan of any team other than the Sky, you kind of hope she goes bad. But as a fan of basketball, I don't, because she's not one of the few fun players. As far as fun players are ranking, for me, I go Caitlin Clark, I go I go Arike Gumbawale, even though sometimes I've watched enough Dallas Wings to know that no, Arike Gumbawale is not a top 5 player in the league. When she's on, she can win you a game by herself, but she'll more often lose you a game by herself and just start shooting one-leg bricks. But Chennedy Carter is, in my opinion, the next most interesting player in the league to watch. So hopefully, all's good.